We all love embracing international food, but when it comes to making all these things at home, we all have our excuses. Today, I'm going to make one such dish. I'm making sushi, which may not be a healthy option for your pockets to go and eat every weekend, but it's very healthy to eat on its own and it's so simple to make. Let's see how to make sushi. The most important thing to get right while making sushi is the rice. Now, of course, finding sushi rice or Japanese rice may not be an ideal situation for you, but what you can do instead is use a different variety of rice. I am using Gobindobhog rice, but you can also use Indrayani rice. These are very easily available in normal supermarkets. So I'm going to start by cooking this. I have just washed this rice once because I want the starch to stay in the rice. Okay, so after washing, I've added a little bit of water, soaked it for about 10 minutes, and now I'm going to cook it with this same water. So I'm just adding it to my cold pan. Now I'm going to top this off with some water. Ideally, it should be double the amount of your rice, or what you can do is put your finger in, place it on the surface of the rice, and it should reach the first segment. Now we're going to cook this on medium flame. The rice is going to absorb all the moisture that it needs. Then I'm going to switch off the flame and take this out in a wooden bowl. So the reason why we use a wooden bowl is so that it absorbs all the excess moisture from the rice. Now we're going to let this cool completely, and while the rice is cooling, we can prepare our seasoning for the rice. This is around a tablespoon of vinegar, sugar, 2 teaspoons, and salt to taste. Just mix all of this together till the sugar melts. Once the sugar has mixed in completely, we're going to add the seasoning to our rice a little bit at a time while folding it. Make sure you're not mashing the rice. You want the seasoning to completely disperse throughout the rice. This is exactly how your rice should look. It should be a little sticky, but you should still be able to see all the grains separated from each other. And this is why they call it sushi. Sushi literally means it is sour, and the sourness comes in from the vinegar that we just added to our rice. Now it's time to move on to the filling. Today I'm just using cucumber and carrots, and I'm going to keep it simple so that you can actually go and try this out. So 1 cucumber, I'm just going to cut it in half, take off the end. I'm going to take off the seeds so that this doesn't leave out any water into the sushi. I'm just going to use this part. The cucumbers are cut into batons. Now I'm going to do the same thing with carrots. Our fillings are ready. Our rice has cooled down. So now it's time to assemble our sushi. So for assembling the sushi, what you will need is a rolling mat, a sushi rolling mat, and nori sheets. Nori is nothing but dried seaweed which has been roasted. So this type of seaweed is extremely thin and very flavorful. So this is the rolling mat. It should roll away from you. So this is how it's rolling right now. And then I'm going to place my nori sheet on the mat. This is how nori looks. You need a thin layer of rice all over the nori. Now I'm just going to wet my fingers and spread this around so that it doesn't stick to my hands. I need a little more rice over here, so I'm just going to add 1 more spoon. I'm going to leave this portion at the end empty because I want it to stick to itself while I'm rolling it. Now it's time for the fillings. I'm going to add few batons right here, a little off center, first of the carrot and then of the cucumber, and roll this onto itself while pushing the vegetables inside. And now I'm not touching anything but the mat, and as soon as my mat is rolled, I'm just going to start lifting it and I'm going to roll it in the other direction. Don't make your sushi roll extremely tight because otherwise it will just burst while you're cutting it, but it has to be a little tight so that you can cut it properly. I'm going to cut this into 1/2-inch rolls. Between every cut, clean your knife with a wet paper towel so that you get very clean cuts. This type of sushi is called maki sushi, wherein the seaweed is outside and the rice and the filling is inside. This sushi is served with a side of soy sauce. So go try this recipe out, and you can use any kind of fillings of your choice. I would suggest avocados, red capsicum, or any other vegetables that you like. Try this out and let me know how it turns out. Have a great week.